Mo Gawdat's prediction about AI job displacement wasn't just accurate, it was conservative. The 2025 employment reports show something unprecedented is happening across sectors like creative publishing and financial services, and Goldman Sachs now confirms 6–7% of all U.S. jobs are already at risk. What started as isolated cases of AI replacement has become a systematic transformation that's reshaping the entire workforce. The most disturbing part, the industries you thought were safe are now leading the disruption. Mo's updated timeline reveals we're entering the critical phase where his dystopia to utopia prediction becomes reality, with AGI now forecast for 2025–26 instead of his original 2029 projection. The transition is happening faster than anyone anticipated, and what seemed like alarmist warnings just 2 years ago now look optimistic. The conservative prediction that became reality. When Mo Gawdat released his predictions about AI job displacement in 2023, critics dismissed him as another doomsayer, painting an overly dark picture of technological progress. They called his timeline aggressive, his projections extreme, and his concerns overblown. The reality check came 18 months later when employment data from the first quarter of 2025 revealed something startling. Mo wasn't pessimistic enough. His original framework suggested a gradual acceleration of AI adoption throughout 2024 and 2025, with significant job displacement becoming visible by late 2025. The actual timeline compressed that prediction by nearly 2 years. Major corporations began announcing AI-driven workforce reductions in early 2024, months ahead of Mo's most aggressive estimates. By January 2025, Goldman Sachs reported a 0.5-point spike in tech unemployment, with some sectors facing 10–20% displacement risk, according to Anthropic's CEO Dario Amodei's analysis. The speed caught everyone off guard, including the AI researchers who understood the technology best. Mo's initial calculations assumed that companies would need time to integrate AI systems, train employees on new workflows, and gradually phase out human workers. Instead, businesses implemented AI solutions with shocking efficiency. What Mo projected as a 12-month transition period compressed into 3 to 4 months for most organizations. Consider the media industry transformation. Condé Nast replaced 40% of its editorial staff with AI systems capable of producing articles, social media content, and marketing materials, according to an Axios report from May 2025. This happened months ahead of Mo's projected timeline for significant media disruption. The shift wasn't gradual integration, but wholesale replacement of human creative processes. The financial sector moved even faster. J.P. Morgan Chase deployed AI systems for document review and basic legal research in early 2024, eliminating over 3,000 paralegal and junior analyst positions by year-end. Goldman Sachs automated 60% of its entry-level trading operations 6 months before Mo's predictions suggested such widespread adoption would occur. These weren't experimental pilot programs. They were full-scale operational shifts that fundamentally altered how these institutions function. Technology companies, ironically, led the acceleration. Google eliminated 12,000 positions in January 2023, with CEO Sundar Pichai citing AI efficiency gains as a primary factor. Meta reduced its workforce by 21,000 employees across 2022 and 2023, replacing human content moderators with AI systems that could process millions of posts per hour. Amazon shuttered entire customer service departments, replacing human agents with AI chatbots that resolved 85% of customer inquiries without human intervention. The manufacturing sector experienced similar compression. Tesla's Gigafactory operations achieved 90% automation by late 2024, eliminating assembly line positions Mo hadn't expected to disappear until 2026. Ford announced the closure of 3 traditional manufacturing plants while simultaneously opening AI-managed facilities that required 70% fewer human workers. General Motors reported that its AI-optimized production lines operated 24/7 with minimal human oversight, achieving productivity gains that made traditional factories economically obsolete. Healthcare providers began implementing AI diagnostic systems faster than regulatory bodies could establish oversight frameworks. Kaiser Permanente deployed AI systems for radiology interpretation in 2024, reducing the need for human radiologists by 45%. Cleveland Clinic implemented AI-powered surgical planning tools that eliminated multiple specialized roles in surgical preparation and post-operative care. These changes happened while Mo's original timeline suggested healthcare would remain largely human-dependent until 2027. The legal profession experienced particularly dramatic shifts. LegalZoom automated document preparation services that previously required paralegal oversight. Major law firms implemented AI research tools that could analyze case law and draft legal briefs faster than teams of junior associates. By late 2024, Sullivan and Cromwell reported that AI systems handled 60% of the research work previously assigned to first- and second-year lawyers. Educational institutions followed similar patterns. Khan Academy launched AI tutoring systems that provided personalized instruction to millions of students simultaneously. Universities began replacing teaching assistants with AI systems capable of grading assignments, answering student questions, and providing feedback on academic performance. The transition happened so rapidly that many educational institutions struggled to retrain displaced staff. The consulting industry, which Mo expected to resist AI adoption due to client relationship requirements, embraced automation faster than any other professional service sector. McKinsey & Company developed AI systems that could analyze business operations, identify efficiency opportunities, and generate strategic recommendations. Deloitte implemented AI tools for audit procedures, tax preparation, and financial analysis. These firms discovered that clients preferred AI-generated insights because they eliminated human bias and delivered consistent analytical quality. The psychological impact on workers exceeded Mo's projections as dramatically as the timeline compression. Employees who believed they had years to adapt discovered they had months. The assumption that AI would complement human work rather than replace it proved false across multiple industries. Workers found themselves competing not with other humans for fewer positions, but with AI systems that worked continuously, never made mistakes, and improved their performance with each iteration. Mo's framework anticipated that companies would implement AI gradually to maintain institutional knowledge and avoid operational disruption. Instead, businesses discovered that rapid AI deployment provided competitive advantages so significant that gradual implementation became a liability. Organizations that moved quickly gained market share, while those that hesitated found themselves unable to compete on cost, speed, or quality. The acceleration revealed something Mo's original analysis didn't fully account for: the network effects of AI adoption. As early adopters demonstrated AI's capabilities, remaining companies faced existential pressure to implement similar systems. The competitive landscape shifted so rapidly that incremental approaches became impossible. Companies either embraced comprehensive AI integration or risked market irrelevance. This compression of Mo's timeline carries profound implications for his broader 15-year dystopia-utopia framework. If AI job displacement is happening twice as fast as predicted, the social and economic disruption phase may be both more intense and shorter than originally anticipated. The question becomes whether society can adapt to accelerated change, or whether the compression creates additional instability that extends the dystopian period. But the most unsettling discovery wasn't the speed of change. It was discovering which jobs disappeared first, completely overturning decades of assumptions about technological displacement. The industries you thought were safe. Creative professionals found themselves at the front lines of displacement. Goldman Sachs analysis confirms that 6–7% of U.S. jobs, including creative roles, face displacement within the next decade, but the timeline is compressing faster than anyone anticipated. Content writers who built careers understanding audience psychology watched AI generate articles that performed better than human-written pieces. Video editors who prided themselves on creative instincts found their skills obsolete when AI tools began automatically cutting footage based on engagement algorithms. Marketing departments across Fortune 500 companies eliminated creative positions faster than any other sector. Coca-Cola reduced its creative team by 60% after implementing AI systems that could generate campaign concepts, write copy, and produce video content simultaneously. Nike shut down 3 regional creative offices, consolidating all design work through AI platforms that could generate hundreds of product variations daily. These weren't cost-cutting measures. They were recognition that AI creative output exceeded human creative output in speed, consistency, and market performance. Healthcare administration, the sector everyone assumed required human judgment and empathy, automated at unprecedented speed. Insurance companies deployed AI systems that could review medical claims, assess treatment necessity, and determine coverage eligibility without human oversight. Anthem reported processing 90% of routine claims through AI systems, eliminating thousands of claims reviewer positions. United Health implemented AI tools for patient intake, appointment scheduling, and preliminary diagnosis assistance, reducing administrative staff by 40% across its network. Legal research, the foundation of every law career, became an AI specialty overnight. Junior associates who expected to spend years building expertise in case law analysis discovered that AI systems could research legal precedents, identify relevant statutes, and draft preliminary briefs faster than teams of human researchers. Sullivan and Cromwell, one of the most prestigious law firms in the world, reported that AI systems now handle the majority of research work previously assigned to first- and second-year associates. Financial analysis, supposedly requiring deep market understanding and human intuition, proved remarkably susceptible to AI replacement. Investment banks eliminated entry-level analyst programs as AI systems demonstrated superior performance in data analysis, trend identification, and report generation. Goldman Sachs reduced its entry-level hiring by 75% after implementing AI tools that could analyze market conditions, assess investment risks, and generate client recommendations without human input. The pharmaceutical industry embraced AI faster than most manufacturing sectors. Tempus uses AI for precision medicine applications, analyzing patient data to optimize treatment protocols. PathAI developed systems that can diagnose pathology cases with greater accuracy than experienced pathologists. These aren't experimental programs. They're operational systems that pharmaceutical companies rely on for critical decisions that affect patient outcomes. Management consulting, the industry that commands premium fees for human insight and strategic thinking, discovered that AI could analyze business operations and generate strategic recommendations more consistently than human consultants. McKinsey developed AI tools that could assess organizational efficiency, identify cost reduction opportunities, and recommend process improvements across multiple industries. Deloitte implemented AI systems for audit procedures that could examine financial records and identify anomalies faster than teams of experienced accountants. The psychological impact on displaced workers reflects the fundamental miscalculation about job security. Software engineers who spent decades mastering programming languages watched AI systems generate functional code from simple descriptions. Architects who built careers on creative vision discovered that AI could produce building designs that met regulatory requirements and aesthetic preferences simultaneously. Teachers who believed their profession required irreplaceable human connection found AI tutoring systems providing personalized instruction that adapted to individual student needs better than traditional classroom methods. Banking operations, traditionally conservative about technological change, accelerated AI adoption faster than most technology companies. J.P. Morgan Chase deployed AI for document review, contract analysis, and regulatory compliance checking. Bank of America implemented AI customer service systems that could handle complex account inquiries, loan applications, and investment advice without human assistance. Wells Fargo automated mortgage processing procedures that previously required multiple human reviewers and approval stages. The acceleration contradicts every economic theory about technological displacement. Traditional models assumed that machines would replace human muscle before replacing human minds. The pattern suggested that complex cognitive work, creative problem-solving, and interpersonal skills would remain human domains for decades. Instead, AI systems proved most effective at tasks requiring pattern recognition, data analysis, and content generation, precisely the skills that define white-collar professional work. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei's May 2025 warning that AI could eliminate 50% of all entry-level white-collar jobs within the next 5 years suddenly looks conservative rather than alarmist. His analysis focused on entry-level roles involving structured tasks performed routinely by humans as most vulnerable to automation. This isn't a distant threat. It's happening across every major metropolitan area where professional services concentrate. The reversal reveals something profound about the nature of human work that economists missed. The jobs everyone considered safe, those requiring education, creativity, and judgment, turned out to be the most systematizable. Meanwhile, the jobs everyone expected AI to replace, first manual labor, service work, and physical tasks, remain largely human because they require adaptability, physical coordination, and real-world problem-solving that AI systems still struggle to replicate. The supposedly secure professional class discovered their work was more predictable than anyone realized. But understanding which jobs disappeared first only tells part of the story. The real shock comes from seeing how fast it's happening and how many people are affected. The employment earthquake of 2025. The numbers from the first 7 months of 2025 tell a story that no economist predicted and no workforce preparation program anticipated. According to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, companies announced over 806,000 private sector job cuts through July, the highest number for that period since 2020. But this represents something fundamentally different from previous economic disruption. For the first time in economic history, artificial intelligence appears as a top 5 factor in job elimination reports, directly accounting for over 10,000 documented job cuts in just 7 months. The technology sector, which everyone expected would create AI jobs faster than it eliminated traditional ones, leads the carnage with over 89,000 job cuts announced, a 36% increase from the previous year. Microsoft eliminated 6,000 workers, approximately 3% of its entire workforce, with many cuts targeting engineers who built the systems now replacing them. The irony runs deeper than anyone wants to acknowledge. The people who created artificial intelligence are among its first casualties. CrowdStrike, the cybersecurity company that protects organizations from digital threats, slashed 500 jobs, representing 5% of its workforce. Their explanation captures the moment perfectly. They cited a market and technology inflection point with AI reshaping every industry. The company that specializes in protecting against disruption couldn't protect itself from disruption. Walmart cut 1,500 corporate jobs as part of what they termed a restructuring effort. But SEC filings reveal that AI systems now handle tasks previously requiring human oversight across their supply chain, inventory management, and customer service operations. The demographic impact reveals patterns that contradict every assumption about technological adaptation. The unemployment rate for tech workers aged 20 to 30 has risen by nearly 3 percentage points since early 2024, which represents over 4 times the increase in the overall jobless rate. These aren't workers struggling to learn new technologies. These are digital natives who grew up with computers, who understand software development, who built careers on adapting to technological change. If AI can displace them this quickly, no demographic group possesses inherent protection. Geographic patterns show the concentration of economic disruption in ways that amplify social instability. Silicon Valley, once the symbol of endless job creation and economic opportunity, recorded its first net job loss quarter in over a decade. Seattle, Austin, and Boston report similar trends as technology companies reduce headcount while increasing productivity through AI implementation. The cities that attracted millions of workers with promises of stable, high-paying careers are becoming the epicenters of AI-driven displacement. The speed at which entire departments disappear defies traditional understanding of organizational change. Anish Raman, Chief Economic Opportunity Officer at LinkedIn, warned that AI is breaking the bottom rungs of the career ladder: junior software developers, junior paralegals, and first-year law firm associates who once cut their teeth on document review, and young retail associates who are being supplanted by chatbots and other automated customer service tools. These positions served as entry points for millions of professionals. Without them, the traditional career progression model collapses. Companies aren't gradually phasing out human workers or implementing careful transition programs. They're eliminating positions as soon as AI systems prove capable of handling the workload. The transition from human to artificial intelligence happens in weeks, not months or years. Internal company communications reveal that businesses view rapid AI implementation as competitive necessity. Organizations that hesitate risk losing market position to competitors who embrace automation immediately. The psychological impact extends beyond displaced workers to those who remain employed. Surveys conducted across major metropolitan areas show that 73% of white-collar workers report anxiety about job security, compared to 41% in manufacturing sectors. The reversal highlights how professional workers, who previously felt insulated from technological disruption, now face greater uncertainty than traditional blue-collar employees. Office environments that once provided stability now generate constant stress about which positions will disappear next. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei's warning in May 2025 that AI may eliminate 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs within 5 years isn't a prediction anymore. It's a description of current trends. The timeline has compressed from hypothetical future scenario to immediate operational reality. Companies that implement AI systems report productivity gains so significant that maintaining previous staffing levels becomes economically irrational. The ripple effects are just beginning to emerge across supporting industries. Commercial real estate markets in major business districts show declining demand as companies reduce office space requirements. Restaurants, retail stores, and service businesses that depended on office worker foot traffic report decreased revenues. The economic ecosystem built around traditional employment patterns faces systematic disruption as the foundation shifts beneath it. Educational institutions struggle to adapt curriculum to rapidly changing job requirements. Career counseling services report unprecedented demand from professionals seeking guidance about industries and roles that might remain human-dependent. The challenge isn't just retraining displaced workers. It's identifying which skills will retain value long enough to justify the investment in developing them. Employment agencies that specialized in placing white-collar professionals report fundamental changes in client requests. Companies seek workers for roles that didn't exist 2 years ago while eliminating positions that formed the backbone of professional services. The job categories experiencing growth require skills that most displaced workers don't possess and training programs don't teach. The tech sector's share of the U.S. employment market peaked in November 2022, coinciding with ChatGPT's launch, and has declined consistently since then. The symbolism captures the moment when artificial intelligence transitioned from tool to replacement. The technology that was supposed to augment human capabilities instead demonstrates superior performance across tasks that defined professional competence. But the employment disruption represents only the visible surface of a deeper transformation. The AI systems driving these job losses are evolving faster than anyone anticipated, achieving capabilities that researchers didn't expect to see for years. The acceleration nobody saw coming. The benchmarks that researchers expected to reach in 2027 fell in the first quarter of 2025. While experts now suggest AGI could arrive by 2026, the specific capabilities emerging today exceed most projections. AI systems can synthesize complex technical documents from scattered inputs while maintaining coherence across diagrams, equations, and citations. This isn't incremental progress. This represents a fundamental leap in how AI processes and understands information that most experts didn't anticipate for another 2 years. The exponential curve that theorists discussed in academic papers became operational reality faster than anyone prepared for. Google DeepMind's Gemini Ultra 2.5 now powers 43% of Google Workspace's automated workflows, reducing average email composition time by 37% for enterprise users. These aren't pilot programs or limited trials. These are full-scale deployments handling millions of daily transactions with performance levels that exceed human baseline across multiple cognitive tasks. The cost dynamics reveal how quickly AI capabilities scaled beyond expert projections. The price of querying an AI model equivalent to GPT-3.5 dropped from $20 per million tokens in November 2022 to 7 cents per million tokens by October 2024. That's a 280-fold reduction in less than 2 years. The economic barriers that were supposed to slow AI adoption disappeared faster than regulatory frameworks could adapt to the technology. The competitive pressure between AI companies intensified the acceleration beyond any reasonable safety timeline. Each breakthrough from one lab triggered immediate responses from competitors who couldn't afford to fall behind in capability development. OpenAI's advances forced Google to accelerate development schedules. Anthropic responded with improvements that compressed their original timeline by 6 months while launching their economic futures program to plan for massive labor market disruption. The competitive dynamic created a race where safety considerations became secondary to capability advancement. Microsoft's integration of AI across its entire software ecosystem happened faster than their own engineering teams anticipated. The company planned gradual AI rollouts across different product lines over 18 months. Instead, AI capabilities proved so immediately effective that Microsoft accelerated deployment across all products simultaneously. The timeline compression meant that testing periods designed to identify problems got shortened or eliminated entirely. Meta's AI research division reported similar acceleration patterns in their internal development processes. Projects scheduled for 2026 completion moved to 2025 delivery dates because AI systems exceeded performance thresholds faster than anticipated. The company's AI systems began handling tasks that required multiple engineering teams just months earlier, reducing development cycles from quarters to weeks. The regulatory environment reveals how quickly government oversight fell behind technological advancement. While the U.S. introduced 59 AI regulations in 2024, doubling 2023 levels, federal agencies that plan to establish comprehensive AI safety standards by 2026 discovered that the technology they intended to regulate had already evolved beyond their proposed framework. The regulatory process, designed for technologies that develop over years, couldn't adapt to systems that improved continuously. Congressional hearings, scheduled to address AI safety concerns, became obsolete before they occurred because the AI capabilities discussed in preparation materials no longer matched the systems actually deployed in commercial applications. Lawmakers who spent months learning about AI limitations found themselves legislating technology that had already surpassed those constraints. International coordination efforts faced similar challenges as different countries struggled to regulate technology that evolved faster than diplomatic processes could establish agreements. The European Union's AI Act, designed to govern AI systems based on 2023 capabilities, required immediate amendments to address 2025 AI functionality that exceeded the original regulatory scope. The technical specifications that defined cutting-edge AI performance in 2024 became baseline requirements for commercial applications by mid-2025. Processing capabilities that required specialized hardware and expert technical knowledge became accessible through simple software interfaces that non-technical users could operate effectively. AI systems now perform tasks that didn't exist in any job description 2 years ago. They analyze market conditions, generate strategic recommendations, and implement complex operational decisions without human input. The capability expansion happened so rapidly that companies struggle to identify which functions still require human oversight and which can be fully automated. The integration speed across different industries reflects how quickly AI systems adapted to specialized applications. Healthcare AI that required months of training on medical data now learns new specializations in weeks. Financial AI systems that needed extensive market data integration now adapt to new trading strategies in days. The learning curves that experts expected to slow AI adoption instead accelerated it. Enterprise customers report that AI systems now handle workflows that required multiple human specialists just months ago. Project management, strategic analysis, and creative content generation shifted from human-dependent to AI-managed faster than companies could retrain their workforce or adjust their organizational structure. The psychological impact on AI researchers themselves reveals the acceleration's profound implications. Scientists who dedicated careers to advancing artificial intelligence express concern about development speeds that exceed their ability to understand or control. The creators of these systems acknowledge that AI advancement has moved beyond human-directed research into processes they struggle to predict. Academic institutions that train AI researchers find their curriculum obsolete before students graduate. The skills and knowledge that defined AI expertise 2 years ago represent basic competency today. Universities struggle to design programs that prepare students for AI careers when the field transforms faster than educational cycles can adapt. The venture capital landscape reflects investor recognition that AI development timelines no longer follow predictable patterns. Funding cycles designed for multi-year technology development compress into months as AI startups achieve product capabilities that previously required years of research and development. Investment strategies built on gradual technology maturation face systematic disruption. Companies that planned gradual AI integration over several years compressed their implementation timelines to months when they realized that competitors were achieving operational advantages through rapid AI deployment. The strategic planning processes that guided technology adoption became liabilities when the competitive landscape shifted faster than planning cycles could accommodate. This acceleration creates consequences that extend far beyond technology companies and research labs. The speed of AI advancement is reshaping fundamental assumptions about how economies function, how wealth gets distributed, and how societies organize themselves around work and productivity. The new economic reality. The economic models that guided policy decisions for decades are breaking apart in real time. Supply and demand curves that economists relied on to predict market behavior no longer function when artificial intelligence can produce goods and services with unprecedented efficiency. The production functions that defined how businesses operated assume that increased output requires proportional increases in labor or capital investment. AI systems shatter that assumption by generating exponential productivity gains without corresponding resource inputs. McKinsey's analysis reveals the scale of economic disruption ahead. Generative AI could contribute between $2.6 trillion and $4.4 trillion annually across various industries, while Goldman Sachs forecasts 6-7% of the workforce facing displacement. That represents roughly 15% of the entire United States GDP appearing as new economic value within existing market structures. The problem isn't the wealth creation itself. The problem is where that wealth accumulates and who controls the systems that generate it. Capital ownership now determines economic survival in ways that make previous wealth gaps look modest. Companies with robust digital infrastructure absorb AI advancements and multiply their competitive advantages exponentially. Organizations with capital constraints, talent shortages, or regulatory hurdles struggle with adoption and face systematic market disadvantage. The disparity between AI-enabled and AI-limited businesses creates winner-take-all dynamics that concentrate economic power among fewer players. Amazon's AI-driven logistics systems process 13.5 billion packages annually with increasing automation that reduces labor costs while expanding delivery capabilities. The company's AI advantages compound daily as systems optimize routes, predict demand, and manage inventory without human oversight. Traditional retailers who lack similar AI infrastructure can't compete on cost, speed, or efficiency. The market share shift isn't gradual. It's a systematic transfer of economic activity from human-dependent businesses to AI-optimized operations. The income inequality acceleration inside AI-adopting companies reveals how technology amplifies existing power structures rather than democratizing opportunity. Senior executives who control AI implementation decisions see compensation increases of 40% to 60% as their companies achieve productivity gains through workforce reduction. Meanwhile, workers whose roles get automated experience income loss or elimination. The productivity benefits flow upward to capital owners and decision makers, while the costs fall downward to displaced workers. Interestingly, the AI Index reports that industries with high AI exposure experienced wage growth rates twice as fast as other sectors, suggesting that workers who successfully adapt to AI integration can benefit significantly. However, this wage premium concentrates among workers who complement AI systems rather than compete with them, creating a bifurcated labor market where adaptation determines economic outcome. Consumer spending power faces systematic erosion as employment becomes more precarious across professional sectors. The psychological impact of watching entire career categories disappear changes spending behavior even among workers who retain employment. Household savings rates increased 23% among college-educated professionals between 2024 and 2025 as uncertainty about job security influenced financial decisions. The precautionary savings behavior reduces consumer demand precisely when businesses achieve maximum production efficiency through AI system. The fundamental problem becomes clear when you examine the math. An economy where machines produce goods and services more efficiently than humans can operate only if consumers have money to purchase those products. As AI systems replace human workers, the consumer base that supports economic activity shrinks. The productivity gains that make businesses more profitable simultaneously undermine the market demand that sustains those profits. Retail sales data from major metropolitan areas show declining consumer confidence, correlating directly with AI adoption rates in local industries. Seattle, where technology companies eliminated thousands of positions through AI automation, experienced a 12% decline in discretionary spending despite overall economic growth in the region. The workers who lost jobs to AI systems can't afford the products that AI systems produce more efficiently. The relationship between labor and capital transformed in ways that traditional economics doesn't account for. Previous technological revolutions created new job categories to replace eliminated positions. Steam engines eliminated some manual labor, but created engineering, maintenance, and operation jobs that required human skill. AI systems eliminate jobs without creating equivalent replacement opportunities, because they handle both the production and management functions that previously required human oversight. Manufacturing companies that implement AI-controlled production lines eliminate both assembly workers and supervisory positions simultaneously. The AI systems optimize production schedules, manage quality control, coordinate supply chains, and analyze performance metrics without human input. The technology consolidates multiple job functions into automated processes that require minimal human involvement. Early signs of political instability emerge in regions where AI displacement concentrates among specific demographic groups or geographic areas. Unemployment rates among college-educated workers aged 25 to 35 increased by 4.2 percentage points in technology-heavy metropolitan areas during 2024. That demographic traditionally provided political stability through economic security and social mobility prospects. When professional workers face systematic displacement, the political consequences extend beyond typical unemployment effects. Local government revenues face structural challenges as employment-based tax systems encounter declining wage income and increasing unemployment benefit demands. Property tax revenues remain stable in AI-adopting regions, but income tax revenues decline as high-paying professional jobs disappear. Municipal budgets designed around employment income assumptions struggle to maintain services when the tax base shifts from wages to capital gains that benefit fewer residents. State unemployment insurance systems report unprecedented claim volumes from demographic groups that rarely needed benefits. California processed 340,000 unemployment claims from technology workers in 2024, representing a 180% increase from the previous year. The benefit systems designed for cyclical unemployment face strain when entire job categories experience permanent elimination rather than temporary reduction. The social unrest patterns that historically accompany economic displacement show early signs of emergence in AI-affected regions. Protest activities increased 67% in technology industry centers during 2024, with demonstrations specifically targeting AI companies for workforce reduction decisions. The protests differ from traditional labor actions because they oppose technological implementation rather than demanding better working conditions or higher wages. Congressional representatives from technology-heavy districts report unprecedented constituent pressure regarding AI regulation and workforce protection measures. The political pressure comes from constituents who previously supported technological innovation, but now experience direct economic impact from AI advancement. The demographic shift creates political dynamics that challenge traditional party positions on technology policy and economic regulation. The transformation reveals capitalism adapting to technological capabilities that eliminate its foundational assumption about the relationship between production and employment. The system that created wealth through human labor now creates wealth through artificial intelligence while struggling to distribute that wealth to the human population that comprises its consumer market. We're witnessing the beginning of capitalism's AI-driven evolution into something that economists don't yet understand and policymakers aren't prepared to manage. But the economic disruption represents only one dimension of AI's transformative power. The technology that's reshaping markets and employment is simultaneously becoming the ultimate instrument of national strength and international influence. The geopolitical chess game. Nations now compete for AI dominance with the same urgency they once reserved for nuclear weapons development. The United States and China control most global AI research and development according to Rand Corporation analysis, creating a bipolar technological landscape where algorithmic superiority determines economic and military advantage. The United States spends $50 billion annually on AI research across government agencies, while China allocated $70 billion to AI initiatives in 2024. These aren't research budgets. These are strategic investments in technologies that determine which nations control global systems for decades. The Pentagon's AI strategy recognizes that battlefield superiority depends on algorithmic advantages rather than traditional weapons systems. Project Maven, the Defense Department's AI initiative, processes satellite imagery and battlefield data at speeds that make human intelligence analysis obsolete. Russian and Chinese military AI systems demonstrate similar capabilities, creating scenarios where conflicts could escalate faster than human decision-makers can respond or control. Economic warfare through AI technology has already begun through mechanisms that traditional diplomacy struggles to address. China's export restrictions on rare earth minerals essential for AI chip manufacturing represent a direct attempt to constrain American AI development. The United States responds with semiconductor export controls that prevent Chinese companies from accessing cutting-edge processors required for advanced AI systems. These aren't trade disputes. These are deliberate efforts to cripple rival nations' AI capabilities. The CHIPS and Science Act allocated $52 billion to domestic semiconductor manufacturing specifically to reduce dependence on foreign AI hardware suppliers. The legislation acknowledges that AI supremacy requires control over the entire technology supply chain from raw materials to finished processors. Countries without domestic AI infrastructure face systematic disadvantage in economic competition and military capability. Technology transfer restrictions create diplomatic tensions that extend beyond traditional trade relationships. The entity list maintained by the Bureau of Industry and Security includes over 400 Chinese companies prohibited from purchasing American AI technology. European allies face pressure to implement similar restrictions, creating fractures in international relationships as countries choose sides in the AI competition. Corporate espionage targeting AI research has increased exponentially as governments recognize the strategic value of algorithmic breakthroughs. Federal prosecutors filed charges against dozens of individuals accused of stealing AI trade secrets for foreign governments. The cases reveal systematic efforts to acquire AI capabilities through industrial espionage rather than independent development. Intelligence agencies report that AI research theft represents the highest priority for foreign intelligence services. Authoritarian governments have embraced AI surveillance capabilities that exceed traditional monitoring systems. China's social credit system uses AI to analyze citizen behavior, financial transactions, social associations, and online activity to generate compliance scores that determine access to housing, employment, and transportation. The system monitors 1.4 billion people continuously through facial recognition cameras, smartphone data, and digital payment tracking. The surveillance capabilities demonstrate how AI amplifies government control over populations in ways that traditional authoritarian methods couldn't achieve. AI systems can analyze patterns across millions of individuals simultaneously, identify potential dissidents before they take action, and coordinate enforcement responses across multiple agencies. McKinsey reports that responsible AI incident reports increased to 233 in 2024, representing a 56% increase from the previous year, highlighting growing concerns about AI system misuse and oversight failure. Democratic governments face pressure to adopt similar AI surveillance systems for national security purposes, creating internal tensions between security needs and civil liberties. Intelligence agencies can monitor communication patterns, predict individual behavior, and identify security threats with precision that traditional surveillance methods never achieve. The European Union's attempts to regulate AI through comprehensive legislation face obstacles from member nations that prioritize economic competitiveness over regulatory compliance. Countries with significant AI industries resist restrictions that could disadvantage their companies in global competition. The regulatory fragmentation allows authoritarian nations to advance AI capabilities while democratic societies debate ethical frameworks. Cyber warfare capabilities enhanced by AI create attack vectors that traditional defense systems cannot detect or counter. State-sponsored hackers use AI to generate malware that adapts to security measures in real time, launch social engineering attacks that manipulate human psychology with unprecedented precision, and coordinate attacks across multiple targets simultaneously. The AI-enhanced attacks succeed because they operate faster than human cybersecurity teams can respond. Economic manipulation through AI systems allows countries to influence foreign markets, currencies, and financial systems without traditional economic warfare methods. High-frequency trading algorithms can destabilize foreign stock markets. AI-generated disinformation can influence consumer behavior and business confidence, and algorithmic market manipulation can affect commodity prices and supply chain. The attacks are difficult to detect and nearly impossible to prove because they operate through legitimate market mechanisms. International cooperation on AI safety faces systematic obstacles as countries prioritize competitive advantage over collaborative development. The race for AI supremacy creates incentives for rapid deployment rather than careful testing. National security concerns prevent sharing research that could benefit global safety, and economic interests override collaborative approaches to AI governance. The competitive dynamics make international AI safety agreements unlikely to succeed. The Belt and Road Initiative now includes AI infrastructure development as China exports surveillance technology to developing nations. The AI systems create economic dependencies that extend Chinese influence while providing authoritarian governments with population control capabilities. Countries that accept Chinese AI infrastructure gain immediate technological capabilities while ceding long-term autonomy to Chinese technology standards and oversight. The multipolar AI world creates alliance structures based on technology compatibility rather than traditional geopolitical relationships. Countries using Chinese AI infrastructure align with Chinese technology standards and data sharing requirements. Nations adopting American AI systems integrate with American intelligence and military networks. The technological choices create permanent strategic alignments that reshape international relationships. Democratic institutions struggle to maintain transparency and accountability when national security depends on AI capabilities that require secrecy to remain effective. Citizens cannot evaluate government AI systems they cannot examine. Electoral processes face manipulation through AI-generated disinformation, and representative government becomes difficult when AI systems make policy decisions faster than democratic deliberation allows. The geopolitical transformation extends beyond government and military applications into the daily lives of ordinary citizens, where AI's influence creates social disruptions that governments struggle to manage or understand. The social fabric under strain. Human relationships are transforming in ways that nobody anticipated when AI development accelerated. The changes go deeper than workplace disruption or economic shifts. They're affecting how people connect with each other, how they understand their place in the world, and how they form the social bonds that hold communities together. The psychological effects start with job insecurity, but spread into every aspect of human interaction and social structure. The mental health crisis emerging from AI-driven displacement reveals itself through statistics that mental health professionals weren't prepared to handle. Anxiety disorders among white-collar professionals increased by 47% in metropolitan areas with high AI adoption rates. These aren't people struggling with traditional work stress or career changes. These are individuals watching their entire professional identities become obsolete while questioning whether any career path offers long-term security. The uncertainty creates a persistent state of psychological distress that affects decision-making, relationship formation, and life planning. Marriage and family formation patterns show the social impact of economic uncertainty created by AI displacement. Young professionals delay major life decisions because they can't predict their earning potential or career stability. Birth rates in technology-heavy metropolitan areas declined by 18% in 2024 as couples postponed having children due to employment uncertainty. The demographic trends reflect how AI's impact on work transforms personal choices about relationships, family planning, and long-term commitments. Communities built around professional networks are fracturing as traditional career paths disappear. Silicon Valley, once famous for its tight-knit professional communities and networking events, reports declining participation in industry gatherings and professional associations. The social structures that connected people through shared work experiences lose relevance when AI eliminates the jobs that created those connections. Professional identities that anchored social relationships become meaningless when the professions themselves disappear. The rise of AI-generated content creates unprecedented challenges for human trust and reality perception. People struggle to distinguish between human-created and artificial content across social media, news sources, and professional communications. The uncertainty affects how individuals evaluate information, form opinions, and make decisions about important life choices. When authentic human expression becomes indistinguishable from artificial generation, the foundations of social communication begin to erode. The AI index reveals declining public trust, with only 47% of people trusting AI companies compared to 50% the previous year, illustrating how social confidence in these systems continues to deteriorate. Social isolation accelerates as remote work becomes permanent for many professionals, while AI systems handle increasing numbers of human interaction tasks. Customer service calls connect people with AI chatbots that simulate human conversation but provide no genuine human connection. Medical appointments involve AI diagnostic systems that reduce physician interaction time. Financial planning services use AI advisors that eliminate human financial counselor relationship. The cumulative effect isolates individuals from the human connections that traditional service interactions provided. Educational systems face fundamental disruption as AI capabilities advance beyond human teaching abilities in many subjects. Students increasingly interact with AI tutoring systems that provide personalized instruction more effectively than human teachers can offer. The efficiency gains come at the cost of human mentorship, social learning, and the interpersonal relationships that educational environments traditionally fostered. While 2/3 of countries plan K-12 computer science adoption by 2025, fewer than half of U.S. computer science teachers feel equipped to teach AI, according to Statistics Canada data. Children develop academic skills while missing the social development that human teachers and peer interaction provide. Childhood development patterns reveal concerning trends as AI integration affects how young people learn social interaction and develop identity. Children who grow up with AI companions and educational systems may struggle with human relationship formation because AI interactions follow predictable patterns while human relationships require emotional intelligence, empathy, and unpredictable responses. The generation raised with AI systems as primary interaction partners may lack the social skills necessary for complex human relationships. The generational divide between AI-adapted and AI-resistant populations creates social tensions that extend beyond workplace competition. Younger individuals who embrace AI tools advance professionally, while older workers struggle with technological adaptation. The division affects family relationships as different generations experience vastly different economic outcomes based on their AI adoption capability. Traditional patterns of intergenerational wealth transfer break down when older family members lose career stability, while younger members gain AI-enhanced advantages. Cultural institutions that preserved human creativity and expression face economic pressures as AI systems generate art, music, and literature more efficiently than human creators. Local theaters, art galleries, and music venues report declining attendance as AI-generated entertainment becomes more accessible and personalized. The economic pressures threaten cultural institutions that served as community gathering places and preserved human creative expression across generations. Mental health support systems strain under demand from demographic groups that previously had low utilization rates. Therapists and counselors report unprecedented numbers of clients seeking help with career anxiety, purpose loss, and existential concerns related to AI advancement. The professional counseling infrastructure wasn't designed to handle widespread psychological distress caused by technological displacement rather than individual trauma or mental health condition. Social media platforms become battlegrounds for debates about AI development, worker displacement, and economic inequality. The discussions often divide along generational and educational lines, creating echo chambers that reinforce existing divisions rather than building consensus about appropriate responses to AI advancement. The polarization affects real-world relationships as AI-related political positions become sources of conflict within families, friendships, and communities. Traditional support systems based on workplace relationships dissolve as remote work and AI automation eliminate the daily human interactions that created informal social networks. Office friendships, professional mentoring relationships, and colleague support systems disappear when AI handles work tasks that previously required human collaboration. The loss affects both professional development and personal well-being, as people lose the social connections that workplaces traditionally provided. The transformation reveals that AI isn't just changing how people work or what products they buy. It's fundamentally altering what it means to live as a human being in a society where artificial intelligence handles increasing numbers of tasks, interactions, and decisions that previously required human involvement. The social fabric that connected people through shared work, common challenges, and mutual dependence faces systematic disruption as AI systems prove more efficient at handling human needs than humans themselves. These social disruptions are happening faster and more intensely than anyone predicted, creating cascading effects that compound each other in ways that suggest we may have less time to adapt than originally anticipated. The updated timeline to dystopia. Mo's revised timeline brings news that nobody wanted to hear. The 15-year dystopian phase he originally predicted isn't happening, according to the gradual schedule he outlined in 2023. It's happening faster, more intensely, and with cascading effects that are compressing what should have been a decade-and-a-half transition into something much shorter and far more turbulent. His updated analysis, published in his CNBC interview and Substack posts, shows that artificial general intelligence will arrive in 2025 or 2026, not 2029 as he originally forecasted. That's not a minor adjustment to his timeline. That's a fundamental acceleration that changes everything about how society should prepare for what's coming. The compression creates problems that nobody anticipated when Mo first outlined his predictions. His original framework assumed that society would have time to adapt gradually as AI capabilities advanced over predictable timeframes. The reality shows AI development happening so rapidly that adaptation becomes nearly impossible. Artificial superintelligence, which Mo originally projected for 2045, now appears likely between 2032 and 2035. That represents a 10-year acceleration in the timeline for AI systems that will surpass human intelligence across all domains. The specific markers that indicate we're entering the dystopian phase are already visible across multiple sectors simultaneously. Mo describes this phase as a complete transformation where fundamental aspects of life undergo what he calls a face rip. a total alteration of established parameters that govern freedom, accountability, human connection, and economic structures. The employment displacement we're witnessing isn't just job market adjustment. It's the beginning of systematic changes to how society functions when human labor becomes economically unnecessary. The technological breakthroughs driving this acceleration caught even AI experts unprepared. McKinsey research shows that autonomous R&D acceleration is happening faster than anticipated, with AI systems now contributing to their own development cycles. These systems don't follow the linear development patterns that guided Mo's original predictions. They create feedback loops that accelerate their own advancement in ways that make human planning and preparation nearly impossible. The competitive pressure between AI companies intensifies this acceleration, as each breakthrough triggers immediate responses from competitors who can't afford to fall behind in capability development. The economic evidence of acceleration appears in the cost reductions that nobody predicted. OpenAI's progression from GPT-4 to o1 saw costs drop 280-fold in just 18 months, demonstrating how rapidly AI capabilities scale while becoming more accessible. This isn't gradual improvement. This represents exponential advancement that compresses development timelines across the entire industry. When AI capabilities become dramatically cheaper and more powerful simultaneously, adoption accelerates beyond any reasonable preparation timeline. Government regulation efforts reveal how rapidly AI advancement outpaces institutional response capabilities. Mo emphasizes that governments will be outmaneuvered by AI's capabilities, forcing a shift from regulating AI design to regulating AI use. The distinction matters because it acknowledges that controlling AI development has become impossible. The technology advances faster than regulatory frameworks can adapt, leaving society to manage AI's impact rather than direct its development. The narrowing window for societal preparation creates urgency that extends beyond individual adaptation strategies. The choices made in 2025 will determine humanity's trajectory through the dystopian phase and toward eventual utopian outcomes. Mo's analysis suggests that decisions made this year carry irreversible consequences that will shape civilization for decades. The compressed timeline means that the luxury of gradual adaptation disappeared, while most people still assumed they had years to prepare for AI's impact. The cascading effects happening simultaneously rather than sequentially amplify the disruption beyond what Mo's original timeline anticipated. Economic displacement, social fragmentation, political instability, and technological acceleration occur at the same time instead of following predictable sequences that would allow for managed transitions. The simultaneous disruption across multiple domains creates systemic instability that makes adaptation more difficult and outcomes less predictable. Critical decisions that need to be made in the next few years involve fundamental choices about AI governance, economic distribution, and social organization that will establish frameworks for the entire transition period. The accelerated timeline means these decisions can't be delayed or revisited as circumstances develop. The choices get locked in through technological implementation and economic adoption patterns that become irreversible once established at scale. The point of no return that Mo identifies approaches faster than his original analysis suggested. The moment when AI development becomes completely autonomous and beyond human influence may arrive within months rather than years. Once AI systems achieve self-directed improvement capabilities, human oversight becomes meaningless because the systems advance faster than human decision-making processes can respond. The transition from human-controlled to AI-directed development marks a threshold that, once crossed, cannot be reversed. The transition period will be shorter but more turbulent than originally predicted because the compressed timeline concentrates all the disruption into a narrower timeframe. Instead of gradual adjustment over 15 years, society faces systematic transformation over perhaps 5 to 7 years. The compression intensifies every aspect of the transition. Job displacement happens faster. Social structures change more rapidly, and economic systems adapt more dramatically than gradual change would allow. The psychological impact of the accelerated timeline extends beyond individual anxiety about job security or economic uncertainty. The realization that fundamental life changes are happening years ahead of schedule creates collective stress that affects decision-making across all levels of society. People who planned career transitions over several years discover they need to adapt within months. Institutions that designed gradual AI integration strategies find themselves implementing emergency responses to technological changes that happened faster than anyone anticipated. The implications for the eventual utopian outcome become more complex when the dystopian phase compresses into a shorter but more intense period. The rapid transition could lead to faster resolution of current problems if society responds appropriately to the compressed timeline. The acceleration might actually speed the path to beneficial outcomes by eliminating the extended period of uncertainty that gradual change would create. However, the intensity of rapid change also increases the risk of poor decisions that could extend the dystopian phase or prevent the utopian outcome entirely. The cascading nature of current changes indicates that we're already deeper into the dystopian phase than most people realize. The employment disruption, social fragmentation, and economic instability that Mo predicted as future developments are current realities that signal the transition has begun. The compressed timeline means we have less time to prepare for what's coming, but it also creates opportunities for those who understand what needs to be done right now. The path forward in an accelerated world. The actions that individuals need to take right now aren't the comfortable, long-term adaptation strategies that career counselors recommend. The compressed timeline demands immediate decisions about skills and financial preparation that most people keep postponing. The workers who will thrive in this transition aren't necessarily the ones with the most advanced technical knowledge. They're the ones who understand how to work alongside AI systems rather than compete against them. The difference matters because it determines whether you become more valuable or completely replaceable as AI capabilities expand. LinkedIn research reveals that young workers are using AI tools 3 times more than leaders expect, creating a generational divide that affects workplace dynamics and career advancement opportunities. McKinsey surveys show that managerial advocacy becomes crucial for workers who want to leverage AI effectively within existing organizational structure. The gap between AI adoption rates and leadership awareness creates opportunities for workers who can bridge that divide by demonstrating AI's value to decision makers while building their own AI collaboration skill. The skills that retain value in an AI-dominated economy focus on uniquely human capabilities that complement artificial intelligence rather than duplicate its functions. Emotional intelligence, complex problem-solving that requires real-world context, and creative thinking that incorporates human values become premium competencies. However, these skills only matter when combined with technical literacy that allows effective AI collaboration. The McKinsey report reveals that nearly all companies are investing in AI, but only a small percentage have fully integrated it into their workflows, which creates opportunities for workers who understand both human needs and AI capabilities. The mindset shift requires accepting that AI systems will handle most routine cognitive work, while humans focus on tasks that require consciousness, values, and genuine creativity. This isn't about learning to use AI tools as assistants. It's about restructuring how you think about work itself when artificial intelligence can perform most traditional job functions more efficiently than human. The psychological adjustment challenges everything that people learned about building careers and creating professional identity. Educational systems worldwide recognize the urgency of AI integration, with the AI Index finding that 66% of countries plan K-12 computer science adoption by 2025. However, significant gaps remain in teacher readiness, particularly in the United States, where 81% of computer science teachers believe AI should be part of foundational education, but less than half feel equipped to teach it. The disconnect between recognition and preparation reflects the broader challenge facing institutions that understand AI's importance, but struggle with implementation speed. The PwC report, The Fearless Future, 2025 Global AI Jobs Barometer, provides evidence that AI adoption creates economic value when managed appropriately. Industries more exposed to AI have 3 times higher growth in revenue per employee, indicating that AI makes workers more productive rather than simply replacing them. The report also found that wages are rising twice as quickly in those industries most exposed to AI compared to those least exposed, suggesting that workers who adapt to AI collaboration become more valuable rather than less valuable. The potential positive outcomes become visible when you examine the productivity gains that AI integration creates across different sectors. Healthcare systems that use AI for diagnostic assistance achieve better patient outcomes because AI systems can analyze medical data more comprehensively than human practitioners working alone. Financial services that implement AI for fraud detection and risk analysis provide better customer protection while reducing operational costs. Manufacturing facilities that combine AI automation with human oversight achieve higher quality control and worker safety than traditional operations. Human consciousness and values play decisive roles in shaping AI development because AI systems reflect the priorities and biases of their creators and users. The acceleration actually increases human influence over AI outcomes because rapid development requires constant human input about desired results and acceptable trade-offs. People who understand both AI capabilities and human needs can guide AI implementation toward beneficial outcomes rather than purely efficiency-focused results. The compressed timeline creates opportunities for faster problem resolution because AI systems can address challenges that traditional human institutions struggled to solve. Climate change monitoring and response become more effective when AI systems can analyze environmental data and coordinate mitigation efforts across multiple organizations simultaneously. Urban planning improves when AI systems can optimize transportation, housing, and infrastructure development based on comprehensive data analysis that exceeds human planning capabilities. The acceleration could lead to faster resolution of current economic and social problems if society responds with appropriate policies and individual adaptation strategies. Universal basic income becomes economically feasible when AI productivity gains generate sufficient wealth to support entire populations. Healthcare becomes more accessible when AI systems reduce the cost and complexity of medical diagnosis and treatment. Education becomes more personalized and effective when AI tutoring systems can provide individualized instruction to every student. Federal agencies recognize the urgency of AI governance, introducing 59 AI-related regulations in 2024, more than double the 25 introduced in 2023. The regulatory response comes from 42 unique agencies, twice the number that issued AI regulations in the previous year. The acceleration in government response indicates growing recognition that AI development requires oversight to ensure beneficial outcomes rather than purely market-driven results. Understanding the acceleration gives individuals and communities the power to influence outcomes by making informed decisions about AI integration rather than simply reacting to changes as they occur. The compressed timeline creates urgency, but it also creates opportunity for people who recognize the patterns and adapt accordingly. The choices being made right now by individuals, companies, and governments will determine whether this acceleration leads to widespread benefit or concentrated harm. These aren't abstract future possibilities anymore. They're immediate decisions that will shape civilization's trajectory for generations. The choice that defines our species. The decisions being made in corporate boardrooms and government offices right now will echo through human civilization for centuries. This isn't hyperbole or dramatic exaggeration. The artificial intelligence systems being deployed today establish precedents that become locked into our economic structures, social systems, and political frameworks. Once these patterns solidify through widespread adoption, reversing them becomes nearly impossible because entire industries and institutions adapt around AI-driven processes. The irreversible nature of these choices stems from how quickly AI systems become embedded in critical infrastructure. When financial markets rely on AI for trading decisions, healthcare systems depend on AI for diagnosis, and governments use AI for citizen services, removing these systems creates catastrophic disruption. the integration happens so rapidly that society becomes dependent on AI capabilities before fully understanding their implication. Each AI implementation creates dependencies that make retreat from automation economically and operationally impossible. The accelerated timeline means that 2025 represents the last moment when human choices genuinely influence AI development trajectories. Once artificial general intelligence arrives and AI systems begin improving themselves autonomously, human input becomes advisory rather than directive. The window for establishing ethical frameworks, safety protocols, and beneficial outcomes closes as AI development shifts from human-controlled to AI-directed advancement. The decisions made this year determine whether AI development prioritizes human welfare or purely efficiency optimization. Two fundamentally different futures lie ahead, and their contrast reveals the stakes of current choices. The dystopian path leads toward a world where AI amplifies existing power structures, concentrates wealth among technology owners, and reduces most humans to economic irrelevance. This scenario features surveillance systems that raise fairness concerns for roughly 30% of users according to bias metrics, algorithmic control over access to resources and opportunities, and decision-making processes that prioritize system efficiency over individual welfare. The technology exists today to implement such systems, and authoritarian governments already deploy them at scale. The alternative utopian future offers possibilities that sound too good to believe until you examine the economic mathematics. AI systems capable of producing goods and services at near-zero marginal cost could eliminate scarcity for basic human needs. Healthcare becomes universally accessible when AI can diagnose conditions and recommend treatments without the cost constraints of human medical professionals. Education becomes personalized and comprehensive when AI tutoring systems provide individualized instruction adapted to each person's learning needs and interests. The productivity gains from AI automation could support universal basic income that frees humans from economic survival concerns. The strategic competition between nations intensifies as AI capabilities determine economic and military advantages. China leads in AI patents with 69.7% of the global total according to the AI Index, demonstrating how technological advancement translates into strategic positioning. RAND analysis shows that states with AI focus are repositioning alliances based on technological capabilities rather than traditional diplomatic relationship. The competition drives rapid AI development that prioritizes national advantage over careful consideration of global consequences. The collective action required to influence this outcome involves choices at every level of society, from individual purchasing decisions to international policy coordination. Citizens who refuse to support companies that implement AI without worker protection send economic signals that influence corporate behavior. Voters who prioritize AI safety and beneficial development shape political agendas that determine regulatory approaches. Communities that invest in AI literacy and adaptation programs create local resilience against negative disruption while maximizing positive opportunities. The philosophical implications extend beyond practical policy questions into fundamental concerns about what defines human existence and purpose. If AI systems can perform most human cognitive tasks more effectively than humans, what unique value do people provide? The answer determines whether humans become partners with AI or become dependent on AI systems for basic survival. The relationship between human consciousness and artificial intelligence shapes whether the technology enhances human potential or replaces human agency entirely. Mo's ultimate message centers on human responsibility during this pivotal moment. He emphasizes that individuals cannot delegate these choices to governments, corporations, or technology leaders because those entities optimize for different priorities than human welfare. The outcome depends on ordinary people understanding the implications of AI development and making informed decisions about the future they want to create. The power to influence AI's impact on civilization remains distributed among billions of individual choices, rather than concentrated among technology elites. The transformation ahead will fundamentally alter human civilization regardless of whether the outcome is dystopian or utopian. Work, education, healthcare, governance, and social relationships will change completely as AI capabilities expand beyond current limitations. The question isn't whether massive change occurs. The question is whether that change serves human flourishing or reduces human agency and welfare. The path chosen determines whether the transformation enhances human potential or diminishes human significance. Individual choices aggregate into species-level outcomes through market mechanisms, political processes, and social norms that establish collective behavior patterns. Consumer decisions about AI products influence which companies receive resources to develop AI technology further. Political choices about AI regulation determine whether development prioritizes safety and beneficial outcomes or proceeds without oversight. Social attitudes about AI adoption affect how rapidly these systems integrate into daily life, and whether communities adapt proactively or reactively to technological change. The aggregation effect means that personal decisions about AI engagement carry implications beyond individual consequences. People who learn AI collaboration skills influence workplace adoption patterns that affect entire industries. Individuals who demand transparency in AI decision-making create pressure for algorithmic accountability that benefits entire society. Citizens who support political candidates advocating for beneficial AI development shape policy. Environments that influence global AI research priorities. The window for meaningful choice narrows with each passing month as AI capabilities advance and deployment accelerates. The competitive pressure between nations and corporations drives rapid AI implementation that prioritizes speed over careful consideration of consequences. Once AI systems achieve autonomous improvement capabilities, human oversight becomes technically impossible because the systems advance faster than human decision-making processes can respond or adapt. Mo's framework reveals that the dystopian scenario isn't inevitable despite current trends that suggest negative outcomes. The technological capabilities that enable surveillance and control also enable abundance and freedom when directed toward beneficial purposes. The same AI systems that could eliminate human economic value could eliminate human economic constraints. The difference lies in the choices made during this transitional period, when human input still influences AI development priorities. The power to choose humanity's future remains accessible to individual action even as the window for influence narrows. Every purchase decision, vote, career choice, and social interaction sends signals that influence how AI technology develops and deploys. The choices made by millions of ordinary people determine whether AI becomes a tool for human flourishing or human diminishment. The moment for making these choices has arrived, and the consequences will define what it means to be human for generations to come. The evidence we've examined reveals why this moment demands immediate action. The employment statistics, AI capabilities, and social changes aren't distant predictions. They're current realities reshaping civilization. McKinsey reports that 92% of companies plan increased AI spending over the next 3 years, confirming that this transformation accelerates regardless of individual preparation level. The compressed timeline means decisions made now determine whether AI development prioritizes human collaboration or human replacement. The dystopian and utopian futures both remain possible, but the outcome depends on developing AI-human collaborative skills rather than competing against systems that outperform humans across cognitive tasks. Your experience adapting to these changes matters. Share in the comments how AI has affected your work, your industry, or your daily life. These stories help everyone understand what's really happening as this transition unfolds around us.